Okay, really needed to get a lot done on the bike, so on the BSA. So today I started off trying to get this oil change handled. The oil change from hell. Started out being a fairly simple concept, change the oil. Turned into a nightmare because I needed to pull the oil tank and all this, and it was really hard to get that done. Finally got my certain tools I needed back from my brother, so I was able to back the fender out, etc., and get that oil tank out. As you can see here, had to remove the fender, which is a task in of itself. You can see this little bolt right down here. And you have to go in through here to try to reach it, and everything's in the way. And it's a bolt that has to get removed, along with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 additional bolts, and remove the tail light just to get the fender off, so that you can get the toolbox out, so that you can then get the oil tank out. This was quite a task for something that, like I say, is supposed to be a maintenance item. But it really needed to get done. So it was a lot of work to get it out. But we got it out. The thing has just got sludge in it. It's just bad. I tried to reach in there with a grabber and a towel and try and wipe around with the towel in there. It just wasn't getting it done. So what we did, we pulled the oil tank out. And I've got it in detergent in the ultrasonic cleaner right now. And I got the ultrasonic heating up, and we'll run it in there because I want to get that thing spotless. It's got some nasty sludge in the bottom of it. It needs to get cleaned out, which makes me a little concerned. The BSA's had a problem. If they lost oil pressure, the bottom end would go bad, because it requires constant oil pressure, and the way the pickup works and everything, it's my understanding, feeds a brass bushing on one end of the crank that if it gets starved for oil, it can really cause a problem. So hopefully this thing's never been in that condition. Other thing is there's another screen down here that I'm going to have to pull and get that all cleaned up as well, along with the screen that goes in the oil tank. So a lot of sludge cleaning that has to happen to complete this oil change. So I need to get that done. That's what I'm in the process of doing right now, because I want to get that done. Once I get that done, then the bike's got good oil in it, I'm gonna be happy there. Now I can focus on the wiring, because really that's the only thing that remains. And then we can, put it all back together and start this bike. Things that, like I say, that we showed you last week with the horrible wiring job that was done here. It was bad. I can tell you there's places where there was electrical tape, or not even electrical tape, it was some kind of Gorilla tape wrapped around, just a single wire. And I'm like, why is that there? Thinking they may have had one of these blue connections here. But no, it's just where the rats had eaten through the wiring insulation. And rather than fix it, whoever was doing it just would wrap some Gorilla tape around it. So these wires, like I said, there's speaker wire that's in here. I don't know if that comes through when you're looking at this. This wire right here is clear. It's just speaker wire that they patch stuff in with. The whole thing's just sticky and disgusting. So I bought a wiring loom, and it's here. And if I can get to it this weekend, I will. I got some cleanup in here in the headlight to do as well with the wiring in there. Again, I'm going to get rid of all these bad connectors, get wires that are the appropriate colors, all that type of thing in the headlight bucket, along with the switch up here. The little toggle's broken off, so I got a good brand new switch. So I got an original Lucas switch to go in there. I've got a wiring harness. Well, shoot, I had it on my desk a minute ago. We'll come back to that. But anyway, I bought an actual Lucas wiring loom pre-made. I thought about redoing the whole thing myself, but the amount of time it's going to take and the money that you'd have to spend finding all the correct pieces of wire, you may as well just buy the loom. So I'll have to do that. So, but that's the main harness. The harness up in the headlight bucket, again, I'm going to have to clean some stuff up there because it's not... I don't have the headlight part of the loom. It's just what goes to it. So And then again, the loom that goes down here into the stator and all that stuff, all those pieces I think are going to be okay. They look okay. I just have to unplug and replug and pull all this stuff off of the regulator and all this just junk everywhere, and strip all this old wiring out, put a new wiring harness on it, along with finish up this oil change, and then maybe we can get everything reassembled and fire this bike up. Fingers crossed. So anyway, a lot of work left to do, but I just wanted to give an update real quick. We'll see if I can get some more content this weekend. If I can, I'll splice in that video and make this all one long video, as opposed to just this short one, and with more content to come later. But it's just a lot of time involved with the projects I'm working on right now. Like, y'all don't need to sit here and watch me ultrasonic clean this oil tank. But once it's done, I'll show you what it looks like. Maybe I'd like to, but I'm trying to get it done, get this oil change done, so I can get on to the wiring portion of our programming, if you will. So hopefully I'll have that done soon. Get this oil change done and get to wiring on this thing, and I'll probably bring you guys along for more of the wiring. But the oil change is just a whole lot of gross, nasty, just get it done stuff. So anyway, more to come. Okay, so we've got the oil tank out. Or we got it out yesterday. That's how long this video would have been if I'd have been recording everything. But we got it out, started cleaning it. The thing just had serious sludge in the bottom of it. Thick, nasty, sticky stuff, and I've had to hit it with foaming engine cleaner. I used detergent, water, put it in the ultrasonic, pulled it out. More detergent, more water, clean, running rags in there. Even got a gun cleaning instrument to run a rag way back in there and try and clean it all out. Anyway, we finally got it clean. It's sitting outside in the bed of one of my trucks, just out in the sun, baking all the water and moisture out of it, so we can make sure it's good and clean of moisture. But it's clean of the oil and the sludge. We know that. Got that done, but it was quite an undertaking. It's just a lot of clean and scrubbing, clean and scrubbing, clean and scrubbing. In the process, though, it looks like it had a repaint where somebody shot it with paint. And when they did, what they just, looks like they just sprayed right over the tank and any oils that might have been on the surface. And so, pretty bad paint job. So I'm thinking I'm probably going to redo that. It's not necessary. Like I said, it still has a lot of black paint on it. I'll take a closer look at it once I get all that done, or once it's dried out. But I may sand that thing and then put a fresh coat of roll bar paint on there just to make it look good and clean. So anyway, so that's in process. So it's outside drying. Knowing the story with these BSAs is that the brass bushing on the crank, if it loses oil, it can wear these bottom ends out and cause problems. And then having that dirty of an oil tank concerned me quite a bit, that might be the case. But then when I pulled the actual plate out the bottom with the pickup screen, the bottom end of the motor was really clean. No sludge up inside the motor at all. So I'm thinking that sludge that was in the tank accumulated over years because the tank wasn't getting cleaned out, but it does look like the oil changes may have been fairly frequent on this thing. The oil that was in there was pretty clean, and again, there was no sludge in the bottom of the motor. So all those things are good signs. So we've cleaned these two screens. That's the plug for the reservoir, and this over here is the plate for the pickup screen that's down at the bottom of the motor. So we've cleaned that out. Here's the toolbox. We'll put it back when we go to put the oil tank back in. So a little more cleanup to do. Get that oil tank possibly painted, and then we'll get everything reassembled and hopefully get the oil in it, get that color, that part of this project done, so I can then move on to wiring and such like that. So anyway, we'll continue as this progresses. Okay, the old BSA. I I was really hoping to get the oil change done this weekend. It's not looking like it's going to happen. I got to call it for the day. I've been working through just the more and more, like I said, I peel back the layers of this onion, the more and more I find. The oil tank, we finally got it out. It took, I don't know, I probably spent 6 hours yesterday plus a couple hours today cleaning it, make sure it was 100% cleaned out. I pulled the filter screen for the sump and where it pulls the oil up into the oil pump, cleaned all that out, and it was amazingly clean down there in the sump. So that's a good sign. There wasn't any sludge down there that I could find. So that's a good indication, but there was a lot of sludge in that tank and it really needed to be cleaned out. So got that done. Another thing, this fender had paint overspray on it. Apparently someone did a, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, a Craigslist restoration or something, and on the frame hit it with some paint, which, you know, doesn't look that bad, but they didn't pull the fender or anything to do it. So there was tons of overspray. So I took the back fender off, cleaned it up with some 4/0 steel wool, got it shining pretty good. Again, it's got, you know, some surface pitting in it, and it's not going to be perfect, but it's better. You know, we're slowly improving the bike. So that's basically what we accomplished. Spent a lot of time with steel wool on the rear fender, pulled the taillight off, pulled the fender all the way off, and took care of that. The other thing we're doing, once we got the tank, the oil tank off the bike and got it fully cleaned out and everything like that, been slowly doing a little bit of a paint job on it. It's just roll bar paint, so it's not spectacular, but it's behind, and the tank also had some surface rust on it, and I sanded it and everything. But I'm not going to sit there and put a layer of Bondo and make it smooth as silk or anything like that. Mainly just want to protect it, get all the crud off of it. So we did that, got it painted, letting it dry right now. Once we have all that done, then we can start going back together with the oil system and get it dealt with. And then I promise we will start dealing with the wiring. But, you know, it's like, as long as you've got this all torn apart and your fender off, you know, get in there and start cleaning stuff, you know. So I've been wiping some things down, and again, there was all kinds of, this whole area right here was covered in overspray on the rear fender. So again, getting all that cleaned off, it'll look good enough when it's done. Again, I'm not trying to do a full restoration, but at the same time, just shoddy workmanship like that, try and clean it up, make it look as presentable as possible without, you know, like I say, doing a full frame off and just restoring this whole thing. So we'll get that wiring dealt with hopefully next weekend. For this weekend, I think I'm going to call it. Again, oil tank's in the process of a paint job right now, and we'll get this thing done eventually. It's just the oil change that ended up taking a whole lot longer than we thought. So anyway, appreciate you guys tuning in. Thanks.